Try to stress with people to have some kind of backup heat. And relying on an oil furnace, you should have some kind of an electric heater to get you by.
So I mean, up here, up north though, I've seen some houses, like the other day I was working with some guys, they're delivering wood. What about going back to the wood style of doing things?
Well, wood is wonderful. Wood is a great source of heat. If you want to do it, because there's work involved, cutting it, preparing it, cleaning the stove, looking after your chimney. You have to be physically able to do it, and you have to have a source of supply. Just because you see trees doesn't mean they're trees you can cut down, and they're the right kind of fuel. So wood is wonderful, but it's not for everybody.
Couple of wood. Done. There you go.
How I do it?
Look. That's the wood.
I do it like this. I put them underneath, and or on one side, put them on top.
There.
That's it.
This will get you the whole night, 12 hours, or how many?
Just about maybe an hour, or let's say 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
I know there's going to be challenges doing this type of work in any place, but is it particularly more difficult in the remote north? And if so, why?
Well, access. Is there a flight? If there is a flight, is on an emergency call, is there even a seat if the plane's not full?
Have you had situations where you got here but your supplies don't, or things like that?
Oh yes. Sometimes you get here and you find out, oh, I need this, and you try and get it on the plane, and there may not be a plane, or there's always the human factor. It gets mishandled, mislabeled, lost. Weather. You get here and the weather changes, well, you can't get anything in, or the plane's just not coming. For instance, this week we had parts shipped on Friday, and it turns out the plane is not going through Sulico, it's coming direct from Thunder Bay, so we can't even get the part on the plane.
I put, when it's cold, I put the whole, maybe 8 or 10 logs. Full stove.
We'll open it.
It takes about 16 hours
You'll get 16 hours of heat?
to heat,
Yeah.
to
When
warm
it's,
this
when it's
house.
full.
Oh, when it's full?
Yeah,
Yeah,
when it's full.
when it's full, it's 16 hours. So it's burning now, like it's open.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be harder, no? You hear the
Mm-hmm, crackling.
yeah.
Even a wood furnace.
Economically, though, would it be more efficient financially?
I've seen some communities where they utilize wood to a great deal, and they actually create employment and have somebody, okay, your job is cutting wood and bringing wood and keeping this particular facility supplied with wood and heated. For example, the one I could think of is in Kingfisher, the water truck garage, where they park the water trucks overnight, that it's heated by an outdoor wood boiler. So it can be done. It's a matter of, do you have the manpower and people that are going to look after it.
Do you recognize these hats that you're wearing?
Okay.
You know how many those?
No.
Both doing
I doing sewing. I
I do
made
the
those-
decorating.
I learned it when I was
Like this.
in school. When I was grade 6, grade 5 and grade 6, where I come from.
Listen,
Winter more that's
that's good.
I got other hats. I want to show you. Wait.
Nice hat. Nice and warm. Homemade. He made another one. Like I decorated
one?
and he do the rest. This one.
This one also.
Oops. I decorate him, then he did the rest. This one. Then,
She helps me.
whoops. How do you open that? Oh yeah, this way.
This one.
It depends on, like,
Okay, that was
oh, okay.
carpet.
Like this. Like this, we try them on first. The inside.
Maybe next time I'm gonna show you what.
And nice and warm.
And this one is a little bit different, leopard type.
This one's leopard hat, and him. Then I told him to make a little pocket for me because I misplace my coin sometimes. Then he make a zipper. He make a zipper for me in here. I put coin, put my keys. When I don't misplace them.
Wow,
Like this.
we don't want to have it.
Like this. Then I just put my, instead when I don't have a pocket, I just put my thing in here.
Is your job pretty much busy when it's winter time? This is when or are you you trying to do things in the summertime before it's cold, preparing you for the winter?
Yeah, we try to do maintenance work in the summer or before the cold weather sets in, but that doesn't always work out. There, it'll be a little quieter now.
So what's happening here? What are you doing?
Well, I gotta shut this off because I want to start taking it apart.
One more thing I want to show you. Wait.
A necklace. He made a necklace. That I think that.
This is a wooden necklace, a homemade.
This one.
Kink.
This is what kind of purchase this? Like,
That's not bridge.
Oh.
This is. I use those red briefs along. Those things are growing along the shore. Those red ones, and I peel them. So I cut them, and
And this is our traditional white toe. This one.
yeah, better.
But
This is mine.
this is from the. What bird was it?
Yeah, that's how it goes. I learned that way when I was in school, where I come from. It's Kitchenuhmaykoosib Lake. The elder was teaching me this way.
Speaking of man and women power, do you find that to be a big issue up north, like of like getting people to help you or to work with you or to for maintenance and that sort of thing? And
No, I generally don't have a problem because they're looking for some assistance, and that it's not that they don't want to do it; they don't have the capability or the knowledge. So I try. I make it available any community I go to. If they want to have someone in the community come and learn and train, absolutely open to that, because it helps to save them. Having me come in for what may be typically a small problem. Often I resolve it in minutes, only because I have the experience to find the problem quickly, and sometimes it's just a switch. because they don't have that. They know lots of things I don't know. About living off the land and other things, but and if I was gonna be stuck somewhere, that's where the person I would like to be with. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, they're limited in their experience.
And when I was in school over there, like, I don't know about here, if they teach that way, yeah. Maybe, yeah.
We make all kinds of stuff in our own, like you can put it.
Okay.
You can hang it. Even we make teepee outside there. Then recently this summer, he made the stuff inside, like they hang them on the side.
Maybe next time when you come there, when you come here, I'm gonna show you in the teepee.
We make fire. We make bonfire.
Like-
We have grandchildren and they come and make outdoor tea, anything.
Like we usually have a winter roast and in the teepee. Sometimes, like we asked their greatest grandkids to come. I don't have kids for my own. Like, but I got lots of nephews. But for myself, I don't have even one. Not even a kid. But it's okay for me. Like I teach sometimes one of my nephews. Yeah, over there where I come from.
The only problem is that if it's really dirty, it's wasting fuel, it's not doing heat transfer. And it is having trouble heating the place up, so I suspect it's quite dirty. And while we're burning lots of fuel, we're not necessarily heating the water with it. We might be sending the heat right up the chimney. This is hot, so just watch yourself.
So there could be essentially a couple of full-time positions just on maintenance of some of these these machines, no?
Oh yeah.
In the communities.
So there are a couple guys in the community, in this community, there's two that I know of, that do basic, you know, it needs, it's run out of fuel or it's needs a filter change or a nozzle change, and can change basic components, and they can do some diagnosis. But some of the more in-depth troubleshooting, not necessarily so. You know, I'm going to be turning on the vacuum, so I don't want to turn off your audio. Works way better when you plug it in though. It started out as an oil burner technician 3, allows you to work under someone. Oil burner technician 2, work on your own up to 1 million BTUs. And an oil burner technician 1, unlimited BTUs. You're not likely, there's very few ones around, very few. There might be half a dozen in Thunder Bay.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe that's a little conservative, probably 10.
Wow.
There's one in Dryden.
Right. Wow, you could almost. Is it because there's just not a huge demand for it anymore, or just people are not getting to that point?
There's not very many appliances of that size.
Okay. So is that because things are becoming more efficient, so they don't require that, or?
No. Just that size of an appliance is typically limited to something like a hospital or a school.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to find that in a residence, and even a building this big doesn't need that.
I see.
Doesn't need that much heat.
I see.
So and then it's the same thing for a gas technician. For propane and natural gas, it's 3, 2, 1. But the numbers are different. The 2 is only up to 400,000 BTU instead of 1 million. And then you jump right to unlimited after that. I have all those licenses, but I seldom use the highest license. Just because there's no demand. Where else, the other place that you need that is for generator work. Because generators are typically more than a million B. A generator isn't measured in BTUs, it's measured in gallons per hour. As furnaces, like a million BTUs is 7 gallons an hour. Most generators are more than 7 gallons an hour. So again, you need that level 1 license in order to work on them. Really as dirty as I thought it was going to be.
I can only imagine how endless your type of work would be. It's like work forever, no?
Yep, pretty much.
There'll always be a need for this sort of. You can't see your job going anywhere anytime soon, huh?
It's never all done.
So this would be a really good industry for people up north to get into then, to learn?
Well, yep,
Or in Big Trout?
for just about any community.
Strange, it's like I watched you take it apart and I tried to like memorize what we would need to do to put it back together, and I'm completely lost already.
Well, that's my gift, I guess. I can take something apart and put it back together. It was pointed out to me when I was young. I wouldn't hesitate to take anything mechanical apart or take it on.
So in your experience, does it take that sort of mind to be able to do this type of work successfully? Or do you think majority of people can be taught this? Like, how much of it is like nature?
You have to have some mechanical aptitude. Because it's not, a lot of it is rote, like it's all the same, straightforward, it's the same. But there are many situations that are, you gotta figure it out. You gotta, even just figuring out what is actually transpiring. Why is it doing what it's doing? You know, it shouldn't be doing that, or what is the, you can have a symptom that can be, it's like a doctor. You can have a symptom, but it could be 5 things.
So for someone here that's lived in Big Trout, for example, most of their life, but if a child or young person was interested in this, I mean, he has to now deal with the fact of learning a very sort of daunting industry as well as living outside the community, which they probably, some haven't done. So there's adjustments on both sides, no?
Yeah, it requires going to college. And then after college, you're going to have to find you're going to get some practical experience in college, but not real world stuff. So ideally you're going to go and work for somebody so you can get some real world experience.
So realistically, it would be quite difficult for someone out here.
It could be. It depends on how driven they are. If they want to go to school, if they're willing, go to school and learn what you need to learn. Downsize this to 1 jug. Now we can take 1 home.
You came for the right person. Yeah. I never see, maybe this is the second time I meet a person who's know how to know the things like in native ways, or I call it the native ways. But it's okay for me. Like I love like when somebody's watching me, when I'm making something, like
Chopping wood.
like chopping wood. She helps me sometimes.
Chopping wood, yeah.
Once in a while, yes. I do it myself all the time. Wood, chopping the wood. Like to do exercise. I have weights though. Do you want to see it homemade? This one. It's of wood. I make the wood, the tree.
I don't fall. I don't fall.
So,
Yeah.
what it looks like. Yeah. I put the screws in there. This is my exercising thing. I'm not just staying inside. I'm not a person who is just staying inside all the time watching TV. And yeah, it makes me feel good after that. Like I have a shower after every day after work. Sometimes in the morning I do shower so I won't get too lazy. I'm not, when I grow older a little bit, I want to be healthy. I want my body to be healthy when I grow old, like when I reach 60. I'm 52 years old.
53.
She's 53.
Yeah. 52.
Hoe je mo magagawin. A little bit. We're speaking Ojibwe language, but sometimes in here in KI it's same speaking Ojibwe language. Some words are different, just some words, and sometimes Krista doesn't understand me what I'm talking about. I explaining to him, yeah, what the words mean. Yeah. Like Ojibwe, yeah.
I was thinking the other day, you know, back then there was no, people had the will but not really the way. This time people have the way but no will. What are your thoughts on that?
In some cases, you have to remember that the demographics have changed so much that in my day, the number of young people available to go into trades and go in and do all different, not just trades, but all kinds of vocations. And now the demographics are much smaller. You don't have as many people aren't having as many children. So now you're top heavy with older people and less young people. So now, well, if you can go and get the easy job at the hospital, even pushing a mop, I'm not paying you much more than that. So it has to be rewarding. But at the same time,
I see.
on certain jobs, you're going to get paid very well in this situation because I can, because the money's there. So I don't hire people and pay them cheaply and expect them to work. You got to reward people, and I do have a couple of people that work as subcontractors to me, and they get paid well, but they also produce.
So entrepreneurship then could be also another piece of it, right? People
Yes.
starting their companies that do this.
Yeah.
So if a young person was to learn the trade, another idea would be to then start his own company doing it then.
Yes.
I see.
Exactly.
I see.
But they pulled trades out of school, and I guess that's probably because of demographics, but there's not, a lot of the high schools don't have trade shops anymore, not for people to learn. I think it's important that young people take some kind of shop class at some point in high school, because then it will be quickly recognized by them and possibly by guidance people that, hey, you have an aptitude for this. Maybe this is where you should pursue your career, as opposed to, you know, maybe you're not going to be a doctor or a pharmacist or a bookkeeper, but you're really good at fixing things, we see that, or building things, or whatever it is, right? You're a really good welder. You've got the eye and a steady hand to be a welder. You could go and have a good career as a welder. And welders get paid very well. It's hard, a little bit dirty work, but the nice thing about that kind of stuff too is like here I'm doing service work and repairing, and it's dirty and it's, you know, it's rewarding at the end because I've made everything work well. But I like building things, building new. And you go in and you build that and you put your heart into it and you build it to look good and to work well. And then at the end of the job you can go, you know, the money's nice, but hey, I feel good, I did a good job. I can walk away from that with pride, and anybody that, my customer is gonna be happy, right? I gotta turn the heat back on.
All right. See if it works.
Won't work. Just might work better.
Got an old man lugging all this heavy equipment by himself.
50-pound tool day.
50-pound tool bag. So this is so that the young people don't make excuses. Because if these old guys can do it,